Very good morning. So what is the topic? Over? Is it over? You decided? You decided? We are learning a topic, test case design techniques. How to eliminate unwanted input conditions to save the time and cost of testing. If multiple inputs are producing the same output, when multiple inputs are producing the same output, instead of testing with all of the inputs, we can eliminate unwanted inputs. We can consider only few inputs for testing in order to save the time of test preparation and also to save the time of test execution. Finally, to minimize the count of test cases, with less number of test cases to ensure the maximum 100% coverage, there are some proven testing technique called equivalence class partitioning and boundary value analysis. So precisely what is this equivalence class partitioning? Yesterday I demonstrated, I remember. Let me demonstrate with another example. Let's say we are testing a invoice functionality, bill invoice functionality. This application designed for a super stockist who sell the material to their customers. Super stockist sell materials to shopkeepers. Shopkeeper will sell to you, correct? Sell to us. Super stockists sell the material to shopkeepers. Here, shopkeepers are the customers for the super stockists. Whenever a material is sold to the shopkeepers, there will be a bill called invoice. That invoice functionality we are testing. The functionality designed like this. First, the super stockist need to select the customer name for whom it is billed. Bill to customer name. Bill to customer name. And what is the product we are selling? Product ID. When I input the product ID, it will fetch the product name from the database and the product name is displayed in the application. How many quantities we are selling? 10 units, 20 units. Price of each unit and bill. When I click the bill, on the bottom of the window, the total bill amount. What is the total amount? 10 units, any product it may be, keyboard or mouse. 10 units. Each unit cost is, say, for example, 100 rupees. What is the total amount? 1,000. And these customers, we are testing a invoicing billing feature made for super stockists who sell the products to the shopkeepers, customers. Some customers very frequently buy the material from the super stockists. Some shopkeepers very frequently buy the goods from the super stockists on immediate cash basis, cash and purchase. For such customers are classified into the platinum category customers. For any platinum category customer, there is a 15% discount on the total bill amount. Some customers frequently buy the material from the super stockist, not on cash basis, on 15 days credit basis. Such customers are classified into gold category customers. There is a 10% discount on the total bill amount. Some customers will buy the materials on 1 month credit basis. Such customers are classified into silver group customers. There's a 5% discount on the total bill amount. Some customers are not frequent buyers. There is no discount. Totally, customers are classified into how many categories? 4 categories. Platinum group customers, gold group customers, silver category customers. Some customers not belongs to any one of this category. There is no discount for such customers. When I make a bill, discount amount, it is showing some discount amount. After deducting the discount amount, it will show the net amount. Now we are writing test cases to verify that the system generating correct discount amount or not, based on the customer type. While making a bill, how the functionality will be used by the customers, people. They select the customer name, whom to bill, enter the product ID. System will get the product name from the database, enter the quantity, enter the price, and click bill button. Total amount, discount amount, net amount is displayed. We are testing, does the system generating the appropriate discount amount or not? Does the system properly generating the discount amount or not? We are testing. First, the end user will select the customer name from the drop-down list. Assumption. In the database, there are about 1,000 registered customers for the super stockist. You answer me, how many test cases we have to write to validate that the system generating appropriate discount amount or not?
4 test cases.
4 test cases. There are 1,000 customers in the database. We no need to test for all customers about the discount amount. I pick one customer who belongs to platinum category, raise a bill, check 15% discount generated or not. I pick one customer who belongs to gold category, make a bill and verify 10% discount generated or not. Pick one customer belongs to silver category and make a bill and verify 5% discount amount is generated or not. Then you pick one customer who not belongs to any one of this category and make a bill, no discount to be generated. This is how we have to test the functionality. No need to test with all 1,000 registered customers available in the database. One partition is platinum group customers. Second group, gold group customers. Another partition, silver category customer. Other partition, customers not belongs to any one of this group. Now, we pick one customer belongs to platinum partition, platinum group. We pick one customer belongs to second group, gold group. We pick one customer belongs to silver group. We pick one customer belongs to a group not belongs to any one of this type. 4 test cases are enough. No need to test with 1,000 inputs. 4 inputs are enough to verify that the system generating appropriate discount amount or not. No need to test with all 1,000 inputs available in the database. Like this, we avoid exhaustive testing by applying equivalence class partitioning technique. So take the next one, boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. First, try to understand what is this boundary value analysis. I want to check I am audible to the offline class students or not. I want to verify I am audible properly to offline class students or not. Am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not you, madam.
Yes, sir.
No, here. If I want to check I am audible to online class students or not, there's no range like offline class, first row, second row, third row, 20th row. I apply ECP technique. There is no range. Any one student I'll ask. If I want to verify I am audible to online people or not. If I want to check I am audible to offline students or not, here we have a range of rows. I'll ask one student who is sitting in the first row, I'm audible. The student who is sitting in the first row, lower boundary value, satisfied. I'll ask a student who is sitting in the last row, I'm audible. A student who is sitting on the last row, confirm me, I'm audible. Do I need to ask remaining people? Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible? Not required. Exhaustive testing, asking every student is not required here. I confirm with a student who is sitting in the first row. I confirm with a student who is sitting in the last row. The student who is sitting in the last row confirm me, I'm audible. Enough, I no need to ask the remaining people in between. Similar kind of logic technique is called the boundary value analysis. When there is a range of input condition, instead of testing with all, consider the boundaries. Consider the boundary value. In the yesterday age example, that is what I have given. Lower boundary value, upper boundary value. So when to apply BVA technique? When we apply BVA technique, if I want to test a functionality with a range of input conditions, suppose in my application, employee registration page, I have a field employee name. The conditions are minimum 4 characters and it should accept up to 40 characters. There is a age field, 21 to 60 is acceptable. Here I want to test with a range of input, 4 characters, 5 characters, 6 characters, 7 characters, up to 40 characters. Instead of testing with these many inputs, as there is a range, I'll apply a BVA technique. What is this BVA technique? Instead of testing with all inputs within the range, consider only boundary conditions, boundary values. The lower boundary value, upper boundary value for positive testing. The lower boundary value -1, upper boundary value +1 for negative testing. Lower boundary value, I should be audible to the student who is sitting in the first row. Lower boundary value. I should be audible to the student who is sitting in the last row. Upper boundary value. I should not be audible to the other side room. Also, I should not be audible to the other side room. Correct? Lower boundary value -1 should not be satisfied. Upper boundary value +1 also should not be satisfied. Only this range should be satisfied. Such technique is called boundary value analysis technique. Make a note of it. If you want to test a functionality, if you want to test a functionality, if you want to test a functionality, with a range of inputs, with a range of inputs, BVA technique is applicable. The BVA technique is applicable. The BVA technique is applicable. Continuation. As per BVA technique, consider lower boundary value and upper boundary value, lower boundary value and upper boundary value for positive testing, lower boundary value, upper boundary value for positive testing lower boundary value -1 lower boundary value -1 and upper boundary value +1 lower boundary value -1 upper boundary value +1 for negative testing.
Sir, come again, repeat, sir.
If I want to test a functionality with a range of input condition, instead of testing with all inputs, consider lower boundary value, upper boundary value for positive testing, lower boundary value -1, upper boundary value +1 for negative testing. Hope you understand this example. Employee name should accept a range of 4 to 40 characters. Lower boundary value 4 characters, upper boundary value 40 characters in this range. For positive testing, first I keep 4 characters and check whether it is accepting or not. Then I keep 40 characters and verify whether it is accepting or not. 4 characters it is accepting. 40 characters it is accepting. Then I check lower boundary value -1, 3 characters. Upper boundary value +1, 41 characters. Say it is not accepting. 4 test cases are passed, satisfied. No need to test with the remaining input. 100% logic perfectly was made. In the second scenario, you should accept a value between 21 to 60, age bid. I first enter 21, it is accepting. I enter 60, it is accepting. Definitely it will accept the remaining values between. It is accepting 21. It is also accepting 60. 100% it will accept the remaining values in between. Positive testing is done. You should not accept 20. I key 20, it is saying a error message. Age below 21 is not agreed. I entered upper boundary value +1, 61, it is not accepting. So if these 4 test cases are satisfied, 100% perfectly logic made by the developer, I no need to test with the remaining input conditions. To avoid exhaustive testing, instead of blindly testing with randomly some value, yesterday we discussed, you people set some random values. Though there is a mistake in the code, all random values it is satisfied. We are missing a bug. Instead, if I test with the boundary condition with less number of inputs, we are ensuring 100% coverage, no chance of missing even one defect. So note on this one.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Post it.
I have one more field saying that where employee role, which falls same as like yesterday only, like admin and employee.
It
So we
comes
had
under
like
equivalence class partition technique, man. It's not a range. A
Yeah,
employee
yeah,
belongs
so-
to admin category, one partition. A employee belongs to employee category, other partition. We have to pick one employee belongs to admin role, and we have to pick one employee belongs to employee role.
so that means if you have those different fields and if those fields fall in these 2 categories, we need to do testing separately for each and every field. Is that the scenario?
Repeat.
Like, for example, if we have changed the employee registration as a field, and in that we have like fields like a employee name, age, and employee role. employee age and name falls under the BVA, that is boundary analysis. Whereas
Correct.
employee role falls under the ECA,
ECP
that is
technique. ECP technique.
yeah. So that
See.
means we do testing for the first two as
Your
BVA
test
and the
case
last.
description will be like this. Check new employee registration functionality with valid inputs.
Okay.
It is your test case description, correct?
Yeah.
Check new employee registration by giving valid input, by giving invalid input. That is your test case description. There is a step. Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. In the test data column, I am listing the mandatory field, EMP name. Here I give two combinations, 4 characters, 40 characters. You take it, I'll explain how to write this. How to write this in the test case document, I'll explain. Any functionality, if I want to test with a range of input condition, instead of testing with all possible inputs, which is impractical, I'll apply BVA technique. If there is no range, I go for ECP technique, middle value. When there is a range, we go for BVA technique. Remember, there are two techniques here. No range, refer the yesterday example. Just now I have discussed one previous example. Customer type, do you have any range here? Coming to this customer type, in the database, totally how many customers available I said? Total customers, 1,000. These 1,000 customers belongs to how many categories? 4 categories. So, 4 partitions. The customers belongs to platinum group. Customers belongs to gold category. The customers belongs to silver category. Customers not belongs to any one of this category. We don't have range here. 0 to 10, 10 to 100, something like that. I pick one customer from each category. Because your code, programmer code will be like this. If customer type equal to P, this is the discount amount. Else, if customer type equal to G, this is the discount amount, percentage. Here I don't have range. All customers belongs to platinum group. All these customers belongs to gold group. I pick one input from each partition. If there is no range in a partition, I go for ECP technique. When there is a range, I go for the boundary value analysis. Make a short note, conclusion. Conclusion about both ECP and BVA together. Conclusion or summary. If there is a range in a partition, if there is a range in a partition, if there is a range in a partition, apply BVA technique, apply BVA technique. If there is no range in a partition, if there is no range in a partition, apply ECP technique. Take the middle value. We have to take the middle value. Apply ECP technique. If there is a range in a partition, apply boundary value analysis. When no range in a partition, apply equivalence class partitioning. Here, A student posted a question. One form will have multiple fields. Employee name, age, role, some other fields. How to prepare the test data in the test case document. Try to understand it. Some test case number, some number, whatever it may be. Assumption in this RHRM application, I'm testing employee registration functionality by giving some valid data. Check. New employee registration with valid inputs, valid data, whatever it may be. Open the browser, enter valid URL, click go. Login as admin, step 2. And the next step, step 3. Go to add employee page. Add employee page or employee registration page, whatever. Enter all mandatory fields. All mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs and click submit. Assumption in some sample application, whatever. What is this column name? Test data, correct? What I have to update here?
What we are doing.
As per my description, enter all mandatory fields. Definitely here I have to list out what are the mandatory fields to be entered, correct? Step is saying enter all mandatory fields. Somebody referring my test case document, they should understand what are the mandatory fields I have to enter. Here I am going to list out the mandatory field names. For example, employee name. Now, as per the rules, minimum 4 characters, maximum 40 characters. So what I will do, I can give like this, 4 characters. And 40 characters. So that by referring this, anybody can understand. Otherwise, I use a comma. 4 characters, comma, 40 characters. So when anybody referring this document, they will understand. Okay, I have to first enter 4 characters. Also, I have to test with 40 characters. Then I have a age field. 1 second. Assumption age also mandatory field. Age, I write like this. 21, comma, 60. Something like this. You please observe, it is a positive test case. Enter all mandatory fields with valid inputs. When I'm writing the negative test case, check employee registration functionality by giving invalid inputs. In that step, I'm going to write 3 characters and 41 characters, 20 and 61. This is how we prepare the test data for one step. Understood, right? Right. Madam, your question answered. You understood this? Right. I think they are busy.
Sir, in ECP, why always preferably middle data we have to take?
Not exactly the middle value, approximately the middle value. Any one value you can take, but do not take the boundaries. Any one value from a partition you can take, approximately we pick up the middle value. For example, like after cooking a kg rice, we don't take a corner piece to check whether it is boiled or not, correct? Approximately we pick a middle grade. Any one value you can take, but do not take the boundaries, that's it. Except the boundaries, any one value you can take. The boundary also you can take. Prefer to take middle value.
How
Okay.
do we write a test case for a ECP, sir? If it is like we have like partitioning, right?
Same thing I said, right? Separately, we are not writing test cases for ECP. Why? What is the purpose finally? To prepare pick up the best to test data, correct? Here I have a column. Supposing there is no range, only one value, here I'll give only one value, that middle value. I'm taking boundary values, I given two values, 4 characters, comma, 40 characters. So anybody understand, okay, I have to check employee name twice. First give 4 characters, then give 40 characters. If there is no boundary, I want to test with only one middle value, I give that middle value. Instead of 2 values, I'll say, for example, 10 characters, only one. Got it? So in order to get the clarity, did you understood this ECP and BVA together or no? Let me give a small assignment. Here itself, take it. In a banking application, in a banking application, in a banking application, service charges for money transfer functionality, service charges for money transfer functionality, service charges for money transfer functionality are as below. Or as below. I'm giving the conditions. In a banking application, service charges for money transfer functionality are as below. I'm giving a small table explaining the service charges conditions. The serial number, the amount you transfer, and service charges. I'm giving sample condition, not any Reserve Bank of India conditions. Let's say when an amount between 1,000 to 10,000 transferred, 5 rupees of service charges. For the amount between 10,001 to 50,000 transferred, 10 rupees of service charges. For the amount between 50,001 to 1 lakh is transferred, 20 rupees of service charges. And make a note. The amount below 1,000, amount above 1 lakh, not transferable. Not transferable.
Repeat, sir.
Okay? Note on these conditions first.
Sir, repeat, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, repeat once. The amount below.
Here are noted. Amount below 1,000, amount above 1 lakh, not transferable. I've given some sample condition to understand the topic, that's it. For the amount between 1,000 to 10,000, 5 rupees, 10,001 to 50,000, 10 rupees, 50,001 to 1 lakh, 20 rupees. Amount below 1,000, amount above 1 lakh, not transferable. Amount below 1,000, amount above 1 lakh, not transferable. Noted? Continue. Identify test cases. Identify test cases. Identify test cases to check does the system detecting does the system detecting does the system detecting appropriate service charges or not? Appropriate service charges or not? Appropriate service charges or not based on the amount transferred. Based on the amount transferred. Does the system detecting appropriate service charges or not based on the amount transferred? Right. Finally, you need to answer me how many best inputs we can consider to validate this money transfer functionality to confirm whether it is detecting appropriate service charges or not. See, what do you mean by exhaustive testing here? Make a money transfer of 1,000, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. Will you test like this? I given some condition. Finally, I wanted from you, what are the various inputs you consider for testing this functionality, both in positive or negative direction? How many positive test cases? How many positive inputs? How many negative inputs we can consider? It's nothing but test data preparation. Your
4
step
positive
description will be like
inputs
this.
and 4 negative
Your
inputs.
step description will be like this. Check money transfer functionality. Tell me. Check money transfer functionality. By transferring a amount between 1,000 to 10,000. 1,000 to 10,000, there are about 9,000 inputs. Will you prepare 9,000 sample data in test case document? We have to apply the BVA technique.
Yeah.
Finally, understand all the rules what I have given. You have to do some rough work in this way. Create all the partitions. Create all positive or negative partitions. Check the partition has a range. If a partition has a range, apply BVA technique. If the partition do not have a range, then take the middle value, apply ECP technique. Finally, I wanted both in positive or negative direction, how many inputs you are going to consider for testing this functionality. Do some rough work, then only you get the right answer. If you create the partition, identify the partition that has a range, apply BVA technique. Identify the partition that has no range, take the middle value. Then only you can able to give the right answers. Without doing this work, definitely you'll give the wrong answer. Venkat, stop recording for 5 minutes. If you give me the right answer here, you understood ECP and BVA. Venkat, stop recording. How many input values? Don't say so many. Yes, how many, madam? Positive? 3, wrong answer. Positive? Yes, online people. How many positive inputs? How many negative inputs? Okay. At first see, what are the valid partitions? The amount between 1000 to 10,000 is transferable. For the amount between 10,000 to 10,000 transferred, expected service charges are 5 rupees. Various inputs belongs to this partition, 1000, 1001, 1002. Somewhere I get 5,000 and lastly 10,000. For all these inputs, expected service charges are 5 rupees. I'll say this is one partition. What is equivalence class partition? What do you mean by equivalence class partition? A group of inputs producing the same output. Refer the yesterday notes I given about ECP. Identify all possible input conditions to verify a functionality. Divide them into groups. While making a partition group, make sure that all input that belongs to a group is giving the same output. All input that belongs to a group must produce the same output. Now it is called one partition. 1000 to 10,000 are the inputs belongs to the first partition. The second partition, the amount between 10,001 to 50,000 is transferable. The inputs are 10,001, 10,002, somewhere I get 25,000, lastly I'll get 50,000. For all these inputs, expected service charges are 10 rupees. It is one partition. The other partition, the amount between 50,001 to 1 lakh. 50,001, 50,002, from where I get 75,000, lastly 1 lakh. For all these possible inputs, the expected service charges are 20 rupees. Finally, these three are valid partitions, correct? Then decide amount below 1,000 is not transferable. 999, 998, and so on. If I give any amount belongs to this group, expected message amount below 1,000 cannot be transferable. Expected some appropriate error message. Invalid partition, negative partition. Decide amount above 1 lakh also not transferable. 1 lakh 1, 1 lakh 2, and so on. For any input belongs to this partition, expected appropriate error message. What is the error message? Amount above 1 lakh cannot be transferable. This also comes under negative partition. And also, if I consider remaining invalid inputs in a money transfer functionality, money amount is a mandatory field, correct? Without giving a amount, will you transfer a money? So what is that? Blank. Empty. Without entering the amount value, when I try to make a money transfer, system should display error message. This field cannot be blank. I was not mentioned it. You have to think like a user, correct? While making a money transfer, amount column must be entered. If I am not entering any data into the amount and I make a money transfer, does the system showing appropriate error message or not need to be covered? It comes under negative. This also negative. We should get appropriate error message. This field cannot be blank. One more possibility. Non-numeric, meaning non-numeric. When I key ABCD, 1 to 3, when I key ABC hyphen 1 to 3, it's a non-numeric data, right? Amount field should be a number data. When I enter ABC 1 to 3, system should display appropriate error message invalid data. It is also negative. Now, first of all, you please confirm this is understood. For the amount between 1,000 to 10,000, 5 rupees are service charges, partition 1. 10,001 to 50,000, second partition. 50,001 to 1 lakh, another partition. Amount below 1,000 not transferable. Amount above 1 lakh not transferable. Nothing also invalid data. Non-numeric also invalid data. These are the all possibilities. Once all these partitions are created, I'll identify the partition that has a range. First, I focus on valid partition. 1,000 to 10,000, there is a range. 10,001 to 50,000, 50,001 to 1 lakh. Now, if there is a range in a partition, consider lower boundary value, upper boundary value for positive testing. The lower boundary value, upper boundary value. The lower boundary value, upper boundary value. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 inputs I consider for doing positive testing. Agree? First, make a money transfer of 1,000. Check 5 rupees deducted as service charges or not. Then make a money transfer of 10,000. Check 5 rupees deducted as service charges or not. 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. Two values from the first partition. Lower boundary value, upper boundary value from partition 1. Lower boundary value, upper boundary value from second partition. 10,001, 50,000. 50,001, 1 lakh. I consider these 6 inputs for doing positive testing to confirm based on the amount transferred that the system deducting appropriate service charges or not. The lower boundary value -1, tell me. The main boundary is 1,000 to 1 lakh is transferable. 1,000 to 1 lakh is transferable. In between, based on amount you transfer, there are varying service charges. But the outer boundary is 1,000 to 1 lakh. Below 1,000, not transferable. Lower boundary value -1, 999. Above 1 lakh also not transferable. Upper boundary value +1. Lower boundary value -1, test case 7. Upper boundary value +1, test case 8. Empty, test case 9. Any combination, alphanumeric special characters combination. If you ask me to derive the input data for testing it, I take these 10 samples. 6 for positive testing, 4 for negative testing. Still, if you have any questions on this discussion, I'll clarify. Hope you understood this, right? Which one? This? 1,000 to 1 lakh is transferable, correct? Below 1,000, not transferable. Check the table I given. 1,000 to 10,000, 5 rupees. 10,001 to 50,000, 10 rupees. 50,001 to 1 lakh, 20 rupees. That's very clear. 1,000, 10,000, 10,001, 50,000, 50,001 and 1 lakh. 6 inputs. What is confusion here? Simple 6 inputs. Lower boundary below 1,000 not transferable, meaning 999. Above 1 lakh not transferable. 1 lakh 8. In a money transfer functionality, amount is a mandatory field that no need to be mentioned separately. Without giving any value, when I try to make a money transfer, does the system showing appropriate message or not need to be tested? That is the 9th one. And the amount is a number column. When I key alphabets, how does the system reacting, responding also to be covered? Non-numeric, last one. Note on this table.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam.
Hello. Sir, but in partition you said take any one number, middle number to check. So it's between
Once
1000
again.
to 10,000.
Once again, this is what I said.
Yes, sir.
As I am testing with a range of values, no need to
But
take the
it is
middle value.
producing the same output means it is partition, no, sir?
Very clean, madam. Testing with a middle value, nothing wrong. Try to understand this clearly. The same previous example, I repeat again. I want to check I am audible to this class or not, offline people or not. The lower boundary value satisfied. First person said I am audible. The person who is sitting in the last row also said I am audible. Do I need to ask a middle person? Do I need to test with a middle value? Nothing wrong asking a middle person, not required. What is the finally topic it is? How to minimize the test case count to save the time and cost of testing. Nothing wrong testing with the middle value 5,000, 25,000, truly not needed. Actually, there is a approach called 3-value approach and 2-value approach. Listen everybody. From a partition, from one partition, consider lower boundary value, middle value, upper boundary value, 3-value approach. What are the 3 values? Lower boundary value, middle value, upper boundary value. It is called 3-value approach in testing. Other approach is only test with the boundaries if there is a range. Lower boundary value, upper boundary value, middle value also not required. Nothing wrong testing with middle value, but not needed. Extra testing will inject any bugs. Extra testing will introduce any bugs. If not required, leave it. Writing one extra test case, executing one extra test case, waste of time. Nothing wrong, but not required. 2-value approach is a recommended approach. Anyhow, I am testing with the boundaries. Testing with the middle value also not needed. You can eliminate it. Note on this.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes. Remaining people, you take it. What is your doubt?
Detection charges are different.
Not
Detection
properly
charges are
audible.
different. Why should I take middle one?
Once again, post your question. Repeat your question.
Yes, the network connection not complex.
You're not correctly audible. Check your mic settings. Here, anyhow, I am testing with the range, first and last. The middle value not needed. Nothing wrong testing with the middle value. But here, there is no range. Take any one. Take any one. Only one, take that one. Empty, only one. Take that one. A very simple topic, but must ask an entire question. Explain ECP and BVA technique. What is ECP? What is BVA? We'll explain ECP and BVA technique with a small demonstration. So whatever the examples I have given, login functionality. In my project, there are about 2 modules or 3 modules. You have to demonstrate like this. Supposing I am working on a project, this project has 3 modules. Admin module, banker module, and customer module. There are 1,000 registered users available in the database. Few users belongs to admin type. Few users belongs to banker category. Few users belongs to customer type. I no need to test login with all users to confirm whether it is showing the right module to the right user or not. I pick one user belongs to admin category. I pick one user belongs to banker category. I pick one user belongs to customer category to validate that the login showing the right module to the right user or not. This technique is called equivalence class partitioning. Users belongs to admin, one partition. Users belongs to banker, other partition. Login accounts belongs to customer, other partition. We pick one user from each partition because here we don't have a range. Here we don't have a range. When there is a range, then only go for BVA technique. If I want to test a functionality with a range of inputs like A to Z, 1 to 100, 1000 to 10,000, then four characters to 40 characters. Instead of testing with all, I go for BVA technique. As per BVA technique, I consider lower boundary value, upper boundary value for positive testing. Supposing there is a age field, it should accept a value between 21 to 60. I take the lower boundary value 21. I take the upper boundary value 60 for positive testing. Lower boundary value minus 120, upper boundary value plus 1, 61 for negative testing. To explain these kind of interview questions only, I am giving such a simple examples. Clear?
Sir, from like here we are testing three parts now, means 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 50, and 50 to 1 lakh. Can we
Correct.
do in one testing that 1,000 to 1 lakh in this?
Already 1,000 you are covering, right?
Yes,
1 lakh also
1,000.
you.
I'm saying that only two tests we can do for this. One means
tests,
1,000 to 1 lakh.
And what is the guarantee? See, you please sir, when amount of 50,000 one is transferred, what is the value? Expected service charge?
It's 20.
See,
20
if the
rupees.
condition is like this, a customer can make a money transfer between 1,000 to 1 lakh. If the conditions are like this, we can transfer a amount between 1,000 to 1 lakh. For 1,000 to 1 lakh, service charges are same.
Okay.
One partition is enough. 1,000, 1 lakh. But here service charges are varying. For that reason, we have taken multiple partitions again. If really for the amount between 1,000 to 1 lakh is transferable, for the amount between 1,000 to 1 lakh, service charges are 10 rupees, no slabs in between. I'll take only one partition. 1,000, 1 lakh, 10 rupees. 999, 1 lakh one, not transferable, error message. And there are multiple slabs based on the amount you transfer. Hence, the main outer boundary, again, I divided into inner boundaries. Inner slabs.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Well, I conclude here today and happy weekend.
Yes, sir. You too.
Requirement traceability document. What is that? Requirement traceability matrix, requirement traceability document. Each business requirement must be linked to its scenario numbers and test case numbers. Mapping requirements to corresponding scenario numbers, corresponding test case numbers for ease of project maintenance is called requirement traceability. At any point of time, I should be able to filter what are the test cases belongs to money transfer, what are the test cases belongs to deposits, what are the test cases belongs to any other feature. Totally 500 test cases created for one big project testing. Today, I asked one of my team members, today you execute test cases for money transfer. Today you execute test cases for online bills payment. These two people have access to the database where there are 500 cases. What is the question? Out of 500 cases, what are the test cases I have to execute? You should be able to filter only the test cases belongs to money transfer, and you should be able to filter only the test cases belongs to online bills payment. Okay, in our test case format, anywhere you are mentioning this test case belongs to this requirement. This test case belongs to this scenario, correct? Scenario belongs to the requirement. You finally consolidate, make a consolidated report. Requirement wise, what are the scenarios belongs to requirement one? What are the test cases belongs to this requirement one? Mapping requirements to corresponding scenario, corresponding test cases for ease of project management is called requirement traceability document. The Monday we'll discuss about this RTM. Also Monday we'll discuss about how to execute the prepared test case on the builds. Generally the build deployment process. Who will take care of build deployment? In real time, who will do build deployment? Build deployment meaning installing the code, installing the database, network connections and everything. Who make the setup ready? DevOps engineers nowadays. Once the build deployed, we do smoke testing, then we start executing the test cases. So on Monday session, we'll talk about RTM and also we continue with test execution process. By next week, what is this? What is this? Okay, STLC will be finished. Thank you.